Today, I want to talk about when self care, self love, meditation, really doing any kind of visualization or changing anything just feels like something else that you need to add to your to do list, and you really don't know how to add more. And it just feels like a chore that you're doing, like something else to check off the list that feels very overwhelming and frustrating. If you're new here, I am Cecilia Hendricks. I am the host of the podcast Unleashing Happiness and run this channel which is essentially all designed to teach you how to change your life using law of assumption, law of attraction principles, but in a very practical way. My goal is always to empower you to understand how to actually change your own life, how to take control over your inner conversations, the way that you're talking to yourself about yourself, and really focus on your mental diet, emotional regulation, and emotional intelligence. When you pair all of these together, especially with the law of assumption principles of being able to truly create a life that you love, you will find that amazing things can happen to you and amazing things can start to filter into your life, but not really if it feels like just a chore that you're frustrated that you have to do. And it kind of occurred to me that sometimes it does feel like a chore. Even for me, I can still be going on this journey and have multiple successes and feel like I figured so much out, and that my mental diet is substantially better than it ever has been, but still sometimes feel like, oh, I didn't do revision, or oh, I need to make sure that I do a daily joy, or oh, I need to make sure that I do my breathing work before I go to bed tonight. And I just want to share that there's a difference between feeling like you have to do this so that you can have something tomorrow versus I'm going to do this now because of the feeling that I have now. I'm creating this now in my present moment. So, to get started, I want to do a bit of a recap of what it means to manifest something into your life and the way that I view it and the way that I teach it. So, anytime that you want to make change in your life, you have to be aware of the change you want to make. That first comes with a self awareness and self observation of your current behaviors, the way that you talk to yourself, inner conversations, mental diet, right? You need to at least be aware of the area of life that you would like to change. The second part of that is defining your aim. What is it that you actually want out of life? Where are you going? What is the thing you want to manifest? What is the goal that you want to obtain? What is the type of life that you want to be leading? Now, here's the thing, you don't have to go from 0 to 100. You can actually start building up kind of in chunks if there's like something that you would like to maybe focus on first. Like maybe first you would really like to strengthen your own self confidence, or you want to feel like you're a more beautiful human, or you want to kind of work on your ways that you take care of yourself and talk to yourself and how much you spend out in nature. And maybe it's your physical health, or it's a career that you want, or a university, or a very specific person that you would like to be in a relationship with, or really just kind of the type of relationship you're seeking. Whatever it is, it can be one chunk or it can be overall. I never want you to feel limited by me or anybody else online or in your life for your own dreams. I recently posted not to ever let someone who is too afraid to go after their own dreams make you feel foolish for yours. So if you are shooting for the moon, by all means, please shoot for that moon and you can definitely get there. I have no doubt in that. I truly believe that we have so much more control over the type of life that we lead than we sometimes give ourselves credit for. I think we are extremely powerful through our minds. I think that we're able to use prayer, which is truly attention, to determine what it is that we want and focus on the way to get there. And I think it can actually be an enjoyable process. It doesn't have to be this like overwhelming, I have to do all of these things, and how in the world am I supposed to get this done in my day when I have children to take care of and a job to finish and I've got to clean my house and I'm behind on my laundry and I need to make the bed and blah, blah, blah. We can actually break this down into easier chunks. So remember, it's self-observation, then definition of what it is you actually want. And then the last part is detachment, which my podcast episode this week is going to be about the detachment piece. Neville Goddard actually said in a fundamentals bulletin that he wrote that these are the three areas, if he was going to break down law of assumption, these would be the three areas to focus on, right? And it makes sense. You define what you want, your desire, you work on your self-observation, which is mental diet, and then you detach, which is truly letting go of the things that you do not want and focusing on the things that you do want. But what we're going to talk about today is that when you're building this plan and you say, okay, I know what I want, I'm paying attention to myself, And now I know the type of habits that I want to cultivate in my own life so that I can remain focused on this aim and on the things that I want and really truly start to define who I am as a human, start to define what state I'm going to dwell in, start to define and make choices on my own identity and the way that I live my life. What happens, at least it has with me, and I hear this from numerous other people, is it's like, man, but I have this whole laundry list now of things that I have to do every day in order to remain focused. And I want to teach you something about law of assumption in these teachings, right? They say that nothing, they as in Neville Goddard, says that something will manifest into your life when it actually feels natural to you. So, what does not feel natural is trying to purposely force fit techniques and activities into your day in order to have something different tomorrow. I want to explain this again. If time is not truly linear, we do live though in a linear fashion, right? Like we linear sounds like this. So we live in a linear fashion. That's the way that our minds work. There is no point in trying to battle the way that your mind works. Instead, use it to your advantage. You want to become the person that you want to be in this very moment that you're in, versus I'm going to do this homework assignment so that tomorrow or next week I can have the experience that it is that I'm seeking. That's why Neville and many other teachers teach you to control your moods and your focus in your present moment and to remain focused in your present moment. Now, how do you get out of this kind of thinking of, oh, I have to do this now so that I can have something tomorrow? It's truly through small habitual changes, small changes to your routine and the way that you're taking care of yourself. But I don't want to make self care, self reflection, and self improvement feel like a chore. It should actually be something you're enjoying to do. Now, the way that our brain works is that when you start making these changes, it may feel slightly uncomfortable. And your brain is going to want you to automatically go back to your same behaviors, right? Let's say that you have a specific person and you continuously text them, telling them how much you really care about them and you want them to be back in your life, and it is not working, right? They are not responding. They are not showing you that they have any kind of the same feeling, but you continue the same behavior. So you can find through this self observation, this is not working for me. So, how can you make some small change that is focused on you internally that's also changing this habit that doesn't feel like a chore? What I want you to do is I want you to write out a list of the things that you actually enjoy doing, right? In small things, walking outside, uh, cooking, baking, going swinging at the park, riding a bike. Maybe you played guitar, going horseback riding, swimming, whatever it is, something, right, that you can do, drinking a fresh cup of coffee outside while the sun rises. And you'll make this list, and then you're going to make a conscious choice to just add some gratitude to while you're doing that. So, the perfect way to do this, if self care feels like a chore, is to actually look at your current behaviors and what are things that you actually enjoy that maybe you're just kind of taking like as they come, you're not really paying attention to them. So, let's take drinking a cup of coffee while watching the sunrise. Maybe every morning you are already having coffee. So, what can you stack with that that will include some gratitude? So, mine is to go outside and watch the sunrise. I'm always up really early. I tend to get up before the sunrise, and I really like to actually watch the sunrise. So, what I'm able to do is say, okay, I'm going to pair this. It's called habit stacking. I'm going to pair this thing that I'm going to do every day, regardless, right? Like, I'm not going to not drink my coffee with something that I can take a quiet moment, even just 1 minute, but better if you can sit out there for like 10 minutes, but sit in that moment and recognize how I feel internally, right? And that's it. I just want to know, what does the coffee feel like when I drink it? What am I thinking about? where are my thoughts tending to go? This is the self observation. And I want you to become very present in that moment of what you are physically feeling, what you are thinking. Like, actually pay attention to where you're sitting. Like, how do I feel in the position that I'm sitting? How are my legs sitting? What is going on with me? Like, what do I see? What do I smell? What do I hear? And become really grounded in that moment. Another example is, let's say you have a dog that you take out on a walk every day, but each day you're in headphones or you're staring at your phone scrolling as you're walking the dog. Make a conscious choice to instead habit stack and go out and just start paying attention to maybe how many rabbits you see on the walk, or can you count how many flowers you see starting to bloom? Something that puts you into that moment and is habit stacking. Now, this sounds kind of ridiculous, but this is taking the chore out of your self care. It's taking the chore and putting you into this present moment and also starting to build areas of gratitude. You're starting to build quiet moments that you can focus just on yourself. It's not on a goal. It's not because you want to get something tomorrow. It's not because you're trying to manifest something specific into your life, which I'm going to guess that some people listening to this find themselves constantly thinking about their manifestation. And what do I need to do right now so that I can have that thing? Not what can I do right now that will feel good, that I will enjoy and is aligned to the person that I want to be, but what can I do right now so that I can have this thing next week? I want you to tell me down below if this change in mindset is making sense or if you're like, I'm still not following. So, when you are trying to do a technique just so you can have something tomorrow, the feeling that you're actually bringing up or the feeling that you're dwelling in is the lack of that thing. Now, that's not to say that you have to like fake that a loved one is laying beside you in bed, but you can generate the feelings of recognizing love in your life, recognizing the ways that you want to be treated, and continuously focus your attention on that aim of having that. What would that feel like? How can you give to yourself now in your imagination, but also in the way that you're treating yourself, talking to yourself through your mental diet so that you can remain focused on your goal? This is also how you connect to detachment. Because the more that you do this and you focus on the thing that you want instead of against the thing you don't want, the more you're detaching from that old state of self and connecting with this new version of you. And this is really kind of how you start to build these habits, is by habit stacking and by focusing on what you can do in this moment that is something you already do that does not feel like a chore, right? And part of that, like, you're already going to lay down and go to bed tonight, right? What can you build into that moment that would actually align you to what you want in life in the way that you want to feel? Is it doing like a soft lullaby? Is it writing out the energy that you want to bring into your life? Is it releasing something? Remember, there's a million different techniques that people use to create a life that they love. You just have to find the one that feels good to you and does not feel like a chore. So hopefully some of these options will help you. If you found this beneficial and you're like, oh, I'd really like some other examples, leave them down below what kind of areas you're looking for the examples, and I would love to do more content on it. I can even do shorts on it where you're like, well, this is kind of what I'm going through. What would you recommend? I'm totally happy to do that. If you would prefer that that be anonymous and you don't want to leave it, you can send me an email, unleashinghappiness at ceciliahendricks.com. Thanks so much.